It's time for Twig This Week in Google. Jeff Jarvis and Stacey Higginbotham are both here. We're going to talk a little bit about Apple's announcements at WWDC and compare and contrast their Do Not Disturb features with the Google features they announced in Android P. We'll also talk a little bit about Larry Page's flying car. It's coming out, but 6 miles an hour? And Stacey cadges one of my gadgets from me, but I'm glad to give it to her. It's all coming up next on Twig.
Netcasts you love.
From people you trust.
This is Twig.
Bandwidth for This Week in Google is provided by Cachefly. CACHEFLY.com. This is Twig, This Week in Google, episode 460, recorded Wednesday, June 6th, 2018. A confusing number of people. This Week in Google is brought to you by Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans. Home plays a big role in your life. That's why Quicken Loans created Rocket Mortgage. It lets you apply simply and understand the entire mortgage process fully, so you can be confident you're getting the right mortgage for you. Get started at rocketmortgage.com/twig. And by Moogsoft. Reduce IT alerts and tickets by up to 99%. Visit moogsoft.com to learn more and sign up for a demo. It's time for Twig This Week in Google, the show where we talk about the latest news from the Googleverse with Jeff Jarvis, professor of journalism at the City University of New York, blogger at buzzmachine.com, author of such great books as What Would Google Do? Public Parts, Geek Sparing Gifts. Hello, Jeffrey.
Hello, hello, hello. Glad to be back.
Good to see you. You were all over the place. You were in
London, Oxford, and Lisbon.
And Lisbon was for Google's European Newsgeist. What is Newsgeist?
Newsgeist? It is an unconference, normally run in the U.S. with the Knight Foundation in Arizona, but Google started one in Europe 4 years ago and in Latin America 2 years ago. And it's an unconference. You get together and 150, 200 people in the field, and we write little Post-its and decide what we're going to talk about. And I help compile those because it's really interesting to see what people care about. And then we have great discussions.
I enjoy those.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Tim O'Reilly. Bill O'Reilly.
Right.
Tim O'Reilly used to do that up here in Sebastopol. He called it
Food Camp.
Friends of O'Reilly, and it was so much fun. I went to a few of those.
And then the open version of that was Bar Camp, as in Foo Bar.
Bar, right. So is this based on that same? That's the same.
Yes, it is. Like it is. In fact, O'Reilly was involved in the early days. Then I think he just got bored and moved on, and so Google stepped in.
One of the most fun things I've ever done. If you get the right people together, it's just great.
Yeah, it is.
Also with us from Austin, Texas, Stacey Higginbotham, the IoT Maven from StaceyOnIoT.com.
Hello.
Stacey. And she's promising us a special delivery in the middle of the show today. Maybe,
if you guys are lucky.
Ooh, how exciting. Whatever could it be? As IoT, there's been a lot of attention on IoT lately because of Microsoft and Google both getting very much involved, and Microsoft's talking at Computex, which is going on right now in Taiwan, about they call it the intelligent edge. It feels like this might be the year of IoT. Microsoft's doing something called Windows 10 IoT Core. Windows 10 IoT Core Services.
Every year is the year of Stacey.
Yeah, I'm like, every year is my IoT year. No, Microsoft has really come out with a complete suite of products this year that are really well thought out. And, last year, AWS came out with some products, but it doesn't have the kind of messaging and the completeness that Microsoft has. Microsoft's really helping the enterprise. So with the IoT, I can never remember. Everybody's like IoT Hub, Core, whatever.
They're
IoT Core
yeah.
services.
Yeah.
Couple things they're doing there, like they're boosting their support. They're promising it for up to 10 years, which is crucial for industrial and enterprise operations, because 3 years of support is nothing if you want to set up a conference room or if you want to build a product. And then the other cool thing that Microsoft's doing with their services is making it so you don't have to change your products, you don't actually have to update them. They're promising stability for 10 years.
We talked about this on Windows Weekly today, and we just had to. I just had to laugh that if you pay Microsoft, you don't have to update.
Well, but it really matters for if you and each individual IT organization.
You have to do security updates. You just don't have to do feature updates.
Right, but it's a really big deal because you don't want to have to add new things to like devices that you don't want to be having your developers waste time on.
Right. Well, especially in an IoT device.
Well, and think about like a medical device or a manufacturing plant kind of equipment in a manufacturing plant. You don't actually want to change those things once you get them, streamlined and perfectly working. You want them to stay exactly as they are. Right.
You need security, and IoT very much needs security updates. But you don't want your light bulbs to start working differently either.
Sometimes I would like my light bulbs to work differently. I'm like, give me some more features. That'd be great.
Well, it doesn't mean you can't get an update. It just means you don't have to get an update. Right. We thought that was such a hoot. But Microsoft has really, I think, and we talked a little bit about this, they really see it a benefit, and I think this is true if everybody's using the same version of Windows. And all they need look no further than Apple and Google. Apple talked on Monday at WWDC about the fact that there are 1 million active iOS devices, and half of them are running the current version of the operating system. That's phenomenal. Meanwhile, on Android, it's fragmentation city.
They're working on that. I mean, that was Project Treble, right?
Yeah, They're getting there. Treble's been a success, kind of born out of necessity. But everybody looks at Apple and says, that's the gold standard. If we could just get all of our users to update whenever there's an update so that we have a feature-complete set of users that developers, ultimately it's all about developers.
It's called Chrome.
Yeah. So an interesting story there we were also talking about on Windows Weekly. Microsoft's bought GitHub, which is, everybody knew that happened on Monday. $7.4 billion, huge amount of money. But what I didn't think about, and Paul Thurrott brought up, is that GitHub developed Electron, which is the Chromium-based application framework that a lot of apps are running on, including Microsoft's app Skype. And it includes a copy of Chrome, or the open source version of Chromium and it's one of the reasons it's a very big file in every Electron app. So Microsoft now is going to be distributing Chrome unless they release it to the wild. I don't know. They may not keep it around. It'd be kind of interesting.
What was the reaction in your world to the
I noticed a lot of open source people saying, "Oh, that's it, we're out of here." I mean, Microsoft has a really horrible history with open source, which is, I think, turned around since the arrival of Satya Nadella. But nevertheless, people feel bit by Microsoft and don't want to take the chance. So I noticed there was a big spike on one of GitHub's competitors, GitLab, had a big spike in signups the day this was announced on Monday. Is
this just usual grumpy geekiness?
I think it probably is, but we'll see. I mean, it's up to Microsoft to maintain it. They say it's going to be independent, but every time there's an acquisition, that's always what everybody says. It's not going to change. It's going to be independent, and then we see. I mean, Skype's maintained its independence pretty well.
No. Microsoft stopped. Remember when Skype was actually peer-to-peer?
They killed the servers. Yeah. But the management of Skype is kind of separate from Microsoft. LinkedIn maybe hasn't been such a great success. Nokia, of course, the worst example of a Microsoft acquisition. So it can go either way.
Oh, what did they buy? Oh, the guys, it's software. I can't think of the guy's name.
They bought Mono. They bought Miguel de Icaza's business and turned.
No. Starts with an R.
Mark Rusinovich, and
no. Okay, I'm giving up. I'm giving up right now.
Stacey,
They bought a lot of stuff. So that's not, I don't blame you.
GitHub also spoke with Google, but it was a relationship with Satya Nadella himself.
That's right. Yeah.
That brought it home.
Revolution Analytics, asks Scooter X.
Okay, now
we're going to tell you every
Roy Ozzie.
Ray
What was his company? Ray Ozzie.
He was the creator of Lotus 1-2-3, and they brought him in. It wasn't R. They brought him in with the Groove. Microsoft Groove was the thing he developed.
That's what it was. Okay, sorry.
And he's gone.
Yes.
Long gone. And Groove never really
Caught
went
on.
anywhere. So
has Microsoft ever had a successful acquisition? So far, we haven't listed anything.
there's tons of them.
Skype was, I mean, yeah. And
Xamarin actually, which is the Miguel de Icaza Mono acquisition, is huge. That's been very good for Microsoft. A lot of this comes back to another great, quote Ben Thompson all the time. Gosh darn him, he's too smart. But a great article today, or actually yesterday, in Stratechery, his blog, called The Cost of Developers. And he's talking about how dominant Apple is. Apple at WWDC said that their App Store serves 500 million weekly visitors. Developers have now earned over $100 billion. Remember, Apple gets about 30% of that, so that's a big chunk of change for Apple. Developers love it. And just the way they used to love Windows, because Windows was a place a developer could go and make software, develop a relationship with his customer, sell, make a lot of money. It was a platform. Apple's not nearly as open as Microsoft, but Microsoft's really lost. Compare the Windows App Store to the Mac App Store, or heaven forfend, compare either to the iOS App Store, and you can see where Microsoft is really losing out to Apple. So that's the explanation for the GitHub acquisition, is Microsoft needs developers if it's going to continue to succeed. And at this point, Apple really has taken all the oxygen out of the room. And Apple does not treat developers well. On Monday, they released an app, a dopey app, there was no reason for them to do, called Measure, which used ARKit you measure things by turning on the camera, and you go edge to edge and you can measure it. There are at least a dozen apps in the App Store already that do that, all of which are now out of business.
Well, that's the way it is when you're a developer building these tiny little features.
It is when you're a developer in an ecosystem. See, that was what was great about Windows. Windows initially didn't do anything, and they did very little, and they let everybody develop on top of it. Apple, with iOS, Apple took control of it very tightly, and developers are really living in the mouth of the alligator and just hoping that the symbiosis continues to be beneficial for Apple, because at any point they could, boom, snap it down. In fact, it happens so often, there's a term for it, It's called being Sherlocked. Have you ever heard that?
No.
I have not.
So there was a great app for the Macintosh called Sherlock, which was a finding app. Let me see if I can find the history of Sherlock. The forgotten Mac application. So what happened with Sherlock was huge in Mac OS 8 and 9. And what happened was Apple built in Spotlight. And in 8.5, and the minute that happened, Sherlock just died. It was like they were Sherlocked. And pretty much at every Apple keynote now, you're looking for the apps that are getting Sherlocked. And this time around, it's the measurement apps.
Well, that happens. I mean, that's what every AWS reInvent is.
Yeah, I think Apple can really, though, just put you out of business in a unit.
But I feel like it's a smaller business. But maybe that's just me.
Oh,
I mean, having seen what happens with some of these AWS kind of feature launches, those can take out a full startup. I mean, just not just an app. This is like a full company gone.
I showed everybody this on Sunday on This Week in Tech, and let me see if I can find it. This was the App Store developer earnings in 2018. The number is going up, but what's really interesting is the top grossing iOS apps. I want you to. The number one app is Fortnite. I wish I could do this without you seeing the numbers here. This is the number one app. Then Candy Crush Saga, Pokemon Go, Candy Crush Soda Saga. How much do you think Fortnite makes? This isn't
Fortnite?
Fortnite's free. No, Fortnite. Fortnite's free, but they sell like clothes for your skins. $1.9 million a day.
Jeez.
I believe it, man. My daughter will spend crazy amounts of real money on digital accoutrements. Skins.
This is why people put up with any behavior Apple wants to exhibit. $1.9 million a day selling skins. It's mind-boggling. All right, let's talk about Google. Apple. One of the things Apple announced on WWDC on Monday was screen time, which is Apple's response to the complaint by people that their phones are too damn addictive, including, by the way, shareholders in January. JANA and the California Teachers Retirement Fund, both big shareholders of Apple stock, complained to Apple, you got to do something. Your phones are too addictive. So Apple has come up and will ship this fall something called Screen Time in iOS 12. But remember, Google did exactly the same thing, announced exactly the same thing for their next version of Android P. They call it Digital Wellbeing. Good article.
This is the equivalent. This is the equivalent of that damned voice on the escalator telling you how to walk on an escalator. Drives me friggin' nuts.
This is the mind the gap moment.
Yeah.
Both of them will allow you to set a limit on how much you use an app. Although Google's is stricter. When you reach the limit on an app and on the iPhone, you can override it. With Google, you cannot actually use the app unless you turn off the limits. You have to go into the settings and manually. You really have to dig deep in. Parental controls are strong now. You'll be able to keep your kids from playing Fortnite all the time, Stacey. There's also
mine doesn't play Fortnite.
Oh, well,
yes,
she's too young still. She will. Is she doing the Kim Kardashian game?
She just thinks it's too violent. She's really anti-violence.
Good for her.
I know it's not gory, but she's just like, no, I don't like it.
Oh, it is violent. You're shooting. I mean, you're killing people. Yeah.
Right.
So
there's violence and there's violence,
Apple will has, like the new Android, the ability to disable notifications, doing Do Not Disturb, so you don't even know you've got notifications. Google's doing a better job, though, with its overnight Do Not Disturb. They dim the screen. They go black and white. They really discourage you from picking the phone up. Apple didn't do that.
Nanny culture.
You don't like it?
Oh no. People who bemoan the nanny culture, I'm all about that, except some people need that. And these phones are actually, the apps on them and the phones themselves are designed to be appealing to people and to take advantage of psychological weakness. So knowing that, you got to help people.
You don't have to use it. It's just a tool, right? Of course, immediately after Apple shows this, then they announced Memoji, which are customizable emojis of yourself that will make you want to spend more time.
Aren't those like Bitmojis? How are they different?
Yeah, well,
they move?
Yeah, they're like Bitmojis, except they're animated. You can stick out your tongue, as you can see. And they're cartoons. They're not, unlike Bitmoji and Samsung's, whatever they call it, in the S9, it doesn't take a picture of you and then, actually Bitmoji, you can design one of your own, or you can use a picture. It's more like the former. You start basically from scratch, and you add your hair and your eyes and all that stuff to make it look like you, or as much like you as you can. So then it's like Amiibo. Amiibo? What the hell are those? Oh, sorry. Those. What the hell are those? She says. Those Nintendo things. Oh yeah, Mii's. Amiibos. Mii's. Oh yeah, Mii's. Mii's. M-I-I. Right. But didn't Nintendo kill that? I think so. I think they turned off the server. Memoji.
The problem I have with this stuff is that it's patronizing, paternalistic, and fundamentally says that you don't have agency or sense.
Right.
People make choices, and those choices are okay. And for others to come along and tisk that the world is just too addicted to this stuff. Stop. Some of this stuff, if you read the profiles about like psychological manipulation in these, it is akin to something like nicotine. And you would not tell someone who's trying to stop smoking, just quit.
you would try to help them with nicotine gum or something like that.
Right.
And Jeff, I would point out that that's exactly the complaint people had about seat belts and helmets for motorcycles. Oh, it's the nanny state. But seat belts have saved.
Not the same.
Seat belts have literally saved hundreds of thousands of lives.
You're not smashing into walls.
But little kids who stay up all night.
Lives.
No, but like, okay, my 11-year-old daughter, should she be like so unable to get off her phone because there is a real both device kind of action here and then the apps on it leading to social pressure, she could not sleep for 5 days straight. And maybe she gets kind of upset and maybe bad things happen to her because of that. I mean, no, you're not running into a wall. It's a much more slow motion problem, but it's still a problem.
All I'm saying is that the same exact arguments were made about books. So we have people who spend too much time with books, so they spend too much time doing this, too much time doing that. And this is about personal agency. And fine, you make a good point, Stacey, that if somebody wants an aid, to give them an aid is fine. But I still think this fits into a larger narrative that, oh my God, these things are terrible. They've addicted us all. They're ruining our lives. And it's just not true. It's just simply not true. And that's the problem I have, is it fits into a larger narrative that I find patronizing. I
have a lot of friends who can't go dinner without looking at their phones. And so I would say...
So that's a choice they make.
Yeah,
who's to say that your decision about that is right? They made their choice. You don't approve and you don't do it, but what's wrong with their choice?
They got little twitches.
How do you feel about nicotine gum, Jeff?
Nicotine, no, Stacey's right. It was a good analogy.
It's like nicotine gum for your phone.
But I'm not buying that this is addictive physically.
That's because you're addicted. You're classic denial.
What did you say?
Yeah.
I don't have a problem. I don't have a problem at all.
Problem. I can quit any time.
Wait a second. No problem at all.
I feel like I'll be honest. I have mixed feelings about this. I don't feel like, I think it's fine. I think it's great to offer these tools. I don't feel like these tools really help. So I guess what I might say is that this is the companies doing the least they can do, that they've weaponized attention, not knowingly, and weaponized engagement to make it more addictive. And now they're offering you these tools that, see, we can help you stop.
I think these kind of reminders and that sort of thing are actually sort of helpful.
Are they?
So, yeah. I mean, like there are times when I'm laying on the couch and it's late at night and I'm like, I should probably go to bed. Let me just read a couple more articles. And then if my phone were like, let's just make this slightly less attractive to you because really you should be sleeping, that would actually be nice. So
I wake up. I know better, but I wake up every morning at 4 o'clock. And I've tried different things like putting my phone in the other room and stuff like that. And I will actually get up, go get the phone, and get back in bed.
that is kind of, I mean, that looks like a problem.
Yeah.
You would probably be a little happier if you didn't do that.
I regret it. I do. And I keep buying things on Instagram, and I need help there too. But it's not.
Well, that's another story.
Well, I'm wearing my Instagram shorts.
QB, my father-in-law, God bless him, used to buy Captain Monte on QVC, and we'd say, stop.
QVC
but don't you remember? So the early days of the web, right? What did we all do? We browsed. We followed all these links. We could go in the hole for hours, right? And then we finally got bored with it, and we said, that's enough of that stuff, and there's not much to it. We stopped browsing. Give us time. We figure it out. We're smart.
What? I still go down Wikipedia rabbit holes for hours. I'm like, what's... Whoa.
Well, Stacey, perhaps you need some Wikipedia help.
Maybe I needed to go dark. Maybe I'll pay my $5 or $10 donation and it'll go dark after like an hour.
Yeah, that's right.
So somebody in the chat room said, and I think this is apt, it's like a drug dealer offering you, hey, or cigarette companies saying, yeah, we have smoking cessation programs if you'd like.
Yeah, but see, this is the problem I have. This is the narrative that's out there, and this is the Tristan Harris and all that, and they're equating technology to nicotine and drugs, and that does not help in the larger discussion when you're going before places like Congress.
The apps that are out there are designed to be psychologically addictive.
So are novels. So are miniseries.
Novels are far less.
So are.
Oh, that's true. But I've got my creative hack for miniseries. So I stopped before the cliffhanger ending. and then I watch the cliffhanger ending.
Wait. You haven't talked about that before. So what's this? What do you do?
Oh, so like when I'm watching like Stranger Things or something on Netflix that it totally, they're like, keep going. We always stop it like right before the end, or we watch to the next section.
Oh, so you don't see the cliffhanger.
No, we either don't see it or we see it and go a few more minutes and then we stop and then we start the next,
That's
so
like
that way,
masochism. That's a whole other illness.
No, like sometimes you watch the cliffhanger and then you move on until, you get the denouement, the fun, like intro to the next problem. And then you're like, click, we're done. It's silly, but it actually works.
I want to poll your family about that.
My husband is totally for it. He actually thinks it's hilarious that I feel the need to do this because he's like, he can totally stop watching. I, on the other hand, am like, so.
Jeff, don't you think, though, that are you asserting that it's not addictive at all?
I'm asserting that it's not nearly, it's not physically addictive.
What about the dopamine rush?
This is not the new heroin. Listen, you can get addicted to anything.
So you're saying it's addictive, but it's just not that bad.
Well, let me say you can have a habit form around anything. You can have a compulsion around anything.
Washing your hands, right?
Exactly. And so anything can become that, but that doesn't make the thing bad. The problem is this is being used as an argument for why these things are bad, and the companies that make them are evil, and they're manipulating. No, they're giving people what they want. And that's okay. And people have agency. To sound like an academic, I'm not. And they can choose what to do, and they do.
You're an academic, Jeff. I got bad news for you.
I did a string on Facebook, words that academics say that no one else says, and my favorite one is agency.
Agency's
the other one is normative.
Normative, love it.
Chat room. What are the words academics say?
There's lots of them. There's lots of them.
Can't remember what the others were. Anyway, all right, onward. We've had our
disagreement.
Yeah,
I'm addicted to the rundown, so I want to make sure we get through it.
Google has decided not to renew Project Maven. This was the Pentagon drone AI imaging program that Google had bid for, successfully won, and was working on until hundreds of Google employees signed a petition.
Thousands, I think.
Thousands. That doesn't quit.
It was like 4,000.
Doesn't quit over it. And
doesn't quit, and then thousands signed
a petition. Project Maven, Google has decided not to re-up. They will not seek another contract for Project Maven. And they're getting, believe it or not, some criticism for not continuing on. Michael Bloomberg says Google has abandoned national security. It's a grave error.
Okay, so this is like loaded language. Of course, some people who disagree with it are going to say they're abandoning national security, just like the people who don't agree with it are saying Google's not going to become the panopticon. It's like,
but let's try another way here, Stacey.
Let's talk about the real issues.
No, but wait. We're World War II, and Ford says we don't want to make tanks. In some views,
that would be bad.
Either way,
that would be bad.
But what Bloomberg is trying to say is the same thing, and I understand the argument. I'm not sure what I think myself on this, because I saluted the employees who said this is not what we want this company to do, and they spoke up, and the company listened, and I think that's the right decision. However, and apart from venal administrations we may or may not have, at some point there are things that are in the interest of national security. The Pentagon does depend on private companies to do many things, like build hardware. And so it's a fascinating question to me, is all I'm trying to say. It's a fascinating question to me to say, what would be anti-patriotic, anti-American, what would be against the interests of your nation, and what's for? I don't know what the answer to that is, but I think it's more than just dismissing the criticism. I think the criticism has some interesting value.
And my frustration with this is we are only going to have the debate at these like high level terms, like, oh, they're destroying national security. Oh, they're not creating the panopticon. When reality, we need to dig into these nuances. And I would say that Google, and especially internet companies more so than others, are so international, I could see why an argument for national security may not really resonate with them, because they are an international company at kind of the highest level in terms of where their audience is, what they're thinking about. Yes, they are headquartered here, but
yeah, I agree. But Bloomberg
point.
Says that the program that Google was part of, and I quote, is intended in large part to help the military avoid accidentally striking non-combatants and civilian infrastructure by being more accurate. If you presume that the operator is trying to only go after combatants, then is it wrong, is it evil for Google to help lower the level of civilian deaths in the war that's going to occur anyway? Or is it evil that Google helps war in any way possible? Same
this
argument
is like
about
the
robots.
Oppenheimer dilemma right there.
Right.
Should you build something that could be utterly evil? And I think the Google employees who kind of took that stance where, hey, this could be good in one sense, but horrible for mankind in general, or for democracy
and Bloomberg
in general.
is also saying that he trusts the Google employees to leaven the decision-making being made, and that he wants them in that debate and their voice. Again, I'm not arguing either way here, because I respect what the employees said and I respect what Google did. But I think this is, as you say, it's a nuanced argument. And I think Bloomberg's arguments are actually nuanced.
There you go.
The headline may not be, but my argument is.
My argument's with the headline.
I find it very, maybe you know better than I, Jeff. He was your mayor. Actually, he wasn't your mayor, but you do work in New York. Does he do a lot of byline editorial pieces?
No, he doesn't. That's what's so interesting. It's very rare.
This feels very political to me. This feels like a first volley in a presidential campaign.
Well, I watched him at a off-the-record conference talk about it the last time, and he went through a really good argument for why an independent just cannot succeed. This is going to change in a second. But his argument is that, A, it's hard as hell to get the votes to win at all. And even if you do win, you can't get anything done in Congress because both parties are against you because you're independent. Well, that was pre-Trump. Trump is kind of a Republican, and he's kind of an independent that's taken over a party. And
I could see Bloomberg running as a Republican.
Just to get rid of Trump.
Just to get rid of Trump, a moderate Republican. And I think this is the kind of thing you start with, which is a patriotic defense of America.
I think it's a point. How old is...
he's a little old, but he's not...
Google.
He's not as...
How old is Michael Bloomberg?
He's not as old as Dianne Feinstein.
76 now.
Yeah.
Ooh.
The election's in 2 years. He'll be 78.
He couldn't be more. I've seen him. I've been. A friend of mine sits literally across the desk from him.
He's peppy.
And he's in good shape, Michael. Very good. But you're right, Leo. I think this is.
I think it's almost moot whether he's got a point or not. I think this is really more political gesture.
Well, I think there's another thing that happens. So to me, it's fascinating, the dynamics here, because at some point I expect an argument from some people to want to retake the Republican Party, or there's kind of a new center that goes with the Clinton-esque Democrats trying to pull in the David Frums and the Michael Bloombergs. But meanwhile, you have Bernie Sanders on the far left trying to torpedo some centrist Democratic candidates this week. And the dynamics are head exploding in terms of all the permutations and computations that could occur here. So yeah, Bloomberg could just be making a larger political move.
It's the kind of thing you'd want to do if you're going to come in as a progressive Republican. Start with waving the flag. That would be but before you start saying, and by the way, no more big bottles of soda.
Speak of the nannies. I was actually thinking of that. I was like, now I know how Jeff feels about the soda tax.
Is that still in place in New York?
No. He lost.
He lost
that.
Yeah. Rightly so, probably. People see, that's interesting. I don't mind Apple and Google putting anti-addiction features into their phones, but nobody should be stopped.
Stay away from my Dr. Pepper.
Nobody should be stopped from drinking a gallon of soda if that's what they want to do.
I thought the soda tax was a good idea. I am not going to lie. I thought it was a great idea.
What's next? Krispy Kreme tax?
I would pay attention.
Well, no. What's next is Uganda's social media gossip tax.
Yeah, that is a funny one, isn't it?
Funny, except for the people who want to be able to actually talk. It's not at the salary rate in Uganda, not trivial amount of money.
Significant amount of money. it's pretty clear, and Greg Farrow brought this up. This is just another way of extracting money out of a company, out of a country. Some politician will get access to this fund. It's a daily fee of a nickel, but that's a lot when the average per capita income is $600 a year. A daily fee of a nickel for anyone who uses social networking and messaging apps and platforms like WhatsApp, Facebook, and Twitter. The president was a vocal supporter of and advocate of the bill. He says social media encourages gossip and maybe other things like uprisings.
It's 3% of your income if you do it every day.
That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money.
But hey, I bet they're not addicted to their phones.
Here's something I might get addicted to. Larry Page's flying car made its public debut today. Kitty Hawk unwrapped its updated vehicle on Wednesday and allowed a CNN reporter to pilot the vehicle with less than an hour's worth of training. The update says it's so easy that you can learn how to fly this flying car without hardly any training at all.
I'm going to give you the predecessor here. Very important. Hold on one second. This is something that may be too old even for you and me.
Look at it. Look at it. It's so cute. It's got to be noisy. Can you hear the? Are you getting my audio, Carson?
Very few of us.
Maybe they're not going to. Maybe they're not going to give us the. Look at that. That's got to be noisy.
That is cool. That is cool, though. So then what happens to the wheel? So when it lands,
it's got 10 propellers.
How does it?
It's got pontoons.
So it lands vertically, and then does it drive? I want to see it drive. It's a car.
Or does it just land in the water?
Why
is it only
so I thought it was like a car. It's just a small.
It's a drone. No. See, well, I don't know.
Leo, I just put in the rundown in the comments.
Okay.
This is so old-fashioned of Larry.
Larry's just not with
this
it.
as children.
All right, let's look at this. Let's look at this YouTube video here. Jeff,
this was a show I remember. I think in reruns, not originally. I don't know what years it was on.
Bob Cummings, I remember this.
Bob Cummings.
Yeah.
So give it a sec here.
Here it is.
See that plane?
It looks exactly the same.
It's a car, and it really turns into a car.
The new Bob Cummings show. This is the open. 1961. Oh, Bob. Oh, Bob. He was such a dog.
Bob actually was. He was. It's an issue.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Oh, shoot. So the Aero car. Yeah, that wasn't in that one.
Here's the 1960 Aero car. Here it is. Watch this. Here we go. Well, I don't know.
No.
Do you have, what's the deal? Are you not getting my audio? I don't understand. It's so weird. It comes and goes.
Oh, this is like trouble music right here. Hold on.
I don't know what I'm watching. What the hell am I watching? Oh, here it is. It's driving onto the Mac at him. It looks like a Trabant. Where's the wings? Okay, and the CNN reporter is being shown how to drive it. That's Larry Page in the green hat. Okay. Says, here you go. Let me just attach the wings. I like that knob. What is?
1,000 feet up there, flying along just like that.
Yeah. So, do you guys like still fly?
But I don't see the. How's it going to take off? Oh, wait a minute. We attach the wings.
Oh.
It tows the wings, I guess.
That seems like a terrible idea.
Humans are messed up. Humans are just strange. Okay, now they're detaching.
This was much easier when Bob Cummings did. I've got to have.
This is from 1961. This is the Aero car.
No, this is much easier than that. this.
Well, I'm disappointed to learn that Bob Cummings was a dog. He seemed like such a nice guy.
Nice guys can be dogs.
You get that friendly guy at.
Yeah,
this is fun.
That's real common.
Those are the worst ones.
I've got it on What's My Line, too.
Oh my God, this is a little harder than Larry Page's. They're now. I'm not getting up in the air on this thing. There's no way.
I think by the end of the show, we're going to get you to buy one, Leo.
All they need to do is an Instagram.
Were they sending the 2 little girls in there?
An Instagram ad, yeah. Don't let the little girls fly. I think this is. They're not going to actually go in the air. This is no longer. This is.
Right. That was my fun.
That was the.
So I'm listening to Jim and Deb Fallows. Jim Fallows, the wonderful Atlantic columnist.
Love him. Yep.
Their book about flying all around the nation from 2014 to 16, right. I think.
Yeah.
It's very good. It's about finding hope in America today. It's about finding optimism and good ideas, and people are doing good things. But Fallows is a pilot.
Right.
So he's flying the Cirrus, one of those planes with the parachute. You know about that, right?
No.
It's the
you say
Cirrus.
That as if, the one of those. What?
The Cirrus plane, if you go to CIRRUS aircraft.com, it's a plane with a parachute built in for the plane.
So like it's planning on crashing?
No, it makes your wife feel safer, says Mrs. Fallows. So if you look at the SR-20 and then Cirrus airframe parachute system, there's a video there.
How do you know all this?
I'm just weird. Go down 20. Go to the 20.
The perfect dual roll airplane.
Now scroll down. Red type there. No. Up there.
The caps. The airframe parachute system. So if there's a problem.
Yeah, you got a single engine.
You deploy the parachute.
It doesn't work. You deploy the parachute and you come down.
So this is what he's driving.
Yeah, all around the country.
Actually, Scooter X says a few lives have been saved by the parachute.
Yes, this woman's life.
In this thing. So she was flying in this plane, flying along, and then all of a sudden, and that's so interesting.
Isn't it?
Yeah. Huh.
These are now, I think, Cirrus are now the number, he said in the book somewhere, I don't know what the category was, but largest selling plane in their category.
Apparently we have
the parachute?
Just they're also more comfortable, evidently.
We have somebody in the chat room who flies them. Says it's a heck of a plane to fly.
Oh.
Look, there it is. It's coming out of the sky. Wow, that's wild.
Oh, can we see?
Yeah. She's talking about.
There we go. Yeah. Isn't that amazing?
Wow. And all they had was a cracked thing. So save this lady's life.
Yeah.
Well, that's pretty good. Pretty good. All right.
This is what we do. We go off on tangents to tangents.
If I ever buy
it's just like the old days of browsing the web. And I, for one, find it addictive. And I have no problem with that. I'm addicted to our
is that why you're
tangents
here every
on
week?
Twig. Yes, because I'm addicted. I try to give it up, but I can't.
Why don't they have a buy button on the website?
I wonder what it costs. Yeah, what does it cost? Have you ever? We got to guess, Leo, that there was a time in life when you wanted to learn how to fly.
Never. Ready?
Stacey, did you ever want to?
Yes.
$439,000 and 900 cents.
Really?
Yeah.
Yowza.
Yeah.
So those parachutes are saving the 1%?
500,000 schmackers.
Oh, Stacey.
500,000
How
schmackers.
cynical of
now,
you.
if you want to get it loaded, it's $539,000.
And you probably want it loaded.
That's their cheapest plane, the SR-20.
But it's the cheapest. The jet is $2 million. I don't know if the jet has a. Does the jet have a parachute? I doubt it.
You know,
That would be.
it costs less than leasing my Tesla. Not quite as practical.
Okay, so Kitty Hawk went up in the air.
Kitty Hawk.
We were excited.
Kitty Hawk,
Dude,
the mysterious flying car startup funded by Google co-founder Larry Page, unwrapped a huge update on Wednesday. It's promising to get people in the air in under an hour. It's now open for test flights for people in place to place pre-orders.
What does it mean in the air in under an hour? Without training, you mean?
That's how much training you need. Right now, they're testing it exclusively over water at a facility in Las Vegas. After just an hour's training, the CNN reporter, Rachel Crane, was able to fly the machine at a speed of, no, this must be wrong, 6 miles an hour? That can't be right.
At a height of 10 feet above the water?
That can't be right.
Oh, Sebastian Thrun strikes again. Oh, the creator of the Google self-driving car.
He says it's as easy to use as playing Minecraft. It's powered it's powered by a lithium-ion battery, which can be used for 20 minutes.
Oops! I didn't think ahead.
At 6 miles an hour.
On the road who can't think ahead to passing one car.
That means you can go 2 miles. The joystick is so intuitive, but it's not the most comfortable thing I ever sat in, said Rachel. You can definitely feel the vibrations. 10 motors, 2 control sticks. It's conducted 1,500 test flights so far among interested business partners and social influencers. We have a chance.
Why didn't they invite you?
You. I'm not going up in that thing.
Maybe this is good for, like, in Sydney with the water taxis. Or if you think about a place like, I don't know, Austin.
They hope the vehicles will be able one day to fly at up to 100 miles an hour over populated areas.
As opposed to swamps.
I think the 6 miles an hour must be a typo.
No, I mean, that might be. I mean, this is brand new, right? So I don't know how fast the Wright brothers plane went.
Let me see in the video how fast it looks like it's going. Looks like it's going a little faster. Well, maybe not. Oh, that's faster than 6 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's faster than 6 miles an hour. 6 miles an hour is 6 miles an hour is as fast as you walk, or slower than you walk.
Yeah, well, you walk. Well, that's it's interesting. I don't know. See, I just want to keep my feet on the ground. That's why I never really hankered to be a flyer either. I don't mind commercial flights, but
Stacey, would you if you were given a free hour of training to go? Would you do it?
Oh yeah, I'd totally do it.
I'll tell you what
I want to go hang gliding, so I am clearly nuts.
I really want to buy this.
You are. I did it once. I did it in Napa after enough wine samples.
Well, I've done a glider in Napa.
Yeah. I want a hang glide.
Hang gliding's where you did a hang glide?
Oh, hang glide. No, I'm not doing that.
Yeah, you're in a glider. I did a glider. You sit. It's like a plane with really big wings, and then they pull you up in the air. But what he didn't tell me is that right before the flight, they were trying to decide it was so windy if they should go up or not. And they said, well, this will be the last flight of the day.
Yeah, or your life.
And then as I'm getting in, my wife, we just got married, said, do you have insurance? I said, yes, but it's not in your name. And I waved goodbye.
Nice.
We'd just gotten married. I hadn't had a chance. I didn't die. Here's the good news. This is what I want. This is a Google project called Project Oasis.
Oh, I like this too.
Okay.
This is kind of dumb.
Still not. I got to figure out why my audio comes and goes.
Outside, but inside a box. We live in between nature and technology, and we usually look at...
Let's do this from the beginning. Here we go.
I'm Harpreet, and this is Project Oasis, a voice-controlled terrarium that recreates weather outside, but inside a box. We live in between nature and technology, and we usually look at them as two very different worlds. Project Oasis brings these worlds together and lets you interact with them by using your voice. It's a self-sufficient closed ecosystem that can mimic sunlight, rain, and clouds.
What's the weather like in Hanoi?
Reported.
So now they're making the weather in Hanoi in the
San
terrarium.
Francisco.
Reported.
Unfortunately,
Project
it doesn't
Oasis
do
was
snow.
made with Google's tools, Dialogflow,
Well, you
and
also
Cloud
can't
Buffer.
tell the actual
This
temperature.
is just a simple experiment to expand a conversation with nature and technology.
Right, so I don't really get
You can build
this.
your own terrarium.
I
by
think
visiting
it is
the
an
following
awesome
link.
project.
It's on GitHub.
It's a cool project for science class, yes.
It's a great project for science class. It's also like, I mean, okay, I like terrariums. We have lots of plants in my house, and millennials, they love plants.
Oh, Stacey, you know why you love this. This is IoT comes to
It is
plants.
IoT. Yes,
I
it's
think-
IoT.
Yeah.
But
It's too bad Father Robert's leaving us because he could totally build this. It uses an Arduino. Wow, you know what? We should build this.
I mean, it's kind of
Oh
fun.
no, wait a minute.
And,
I'm sorry. It's a Raspberry Pi 3 and an Arduino.
yeah, you need the computer for the Pi, and then the actuators attached to
The Arduino.
and managed by the Arduino.
Mist rain lights. Something called
And it is a terrarium, so it's self-contained too.
Yeah.
You don't have to water
I
it or
know.
anything.
I love these things.
something called a peristaltic resonator.
Peristalsis is when you like
I
throw
know.
things up.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. And you got to get openweathermap.org. You get an API key, and it uses Node.js and the Raspberry Pi. I think I could do this. Should we build one?
Go for it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
they
did put it in.
But make it
Okay.
larger. Make it like
make it-
human sized. You could live in it.
Make
Yeah.
the studio be the terrarium.
The studio into the terrarium.
And then you could say, Jeff, you could say, hey, let's make it like Hanoi in here.
It starts raining on Leo. So, Stacey, you don't get the punch, but you get to soak Leo.
Oh, that would be okay. Weather in Antarctica.
It does use Google's cloud. I mean, the whole point of it, I guess, is using Google's cloud.
And it uses
So
their
to speak.
voice kit.
And
You know how
voice,
they've got these
right?
they've got these new voice kits. They have another one that's like a servo kit or something.
Google's dialogue flow parses natural language for the required parameters of city, location, or action. So you got the dialogue flow functions, the cloud PubSub Node.js listener, and then the Arduino sketch doing the whole thing in there.
I mean, it's nice. I'm not saying this is, I mean, there's nothing here other than like, hey, we have cool stuff and you could build cool
We could
stuff
do
with
this.
It's a science
Yeah.
That's all it
project.
is.
It's really cool.
Yeah, it
it's
is.
like it'd be a perfect 8th grade science project. Oh
Yeah,
man,
and
you'd get
I
an
like-
A for sure. Why don't you build one with your daughter?
I'm actually contemplating that. Maybe that's our summer project.
Wouldn't that be maybe we should have competing. We should
You're going to compete against my daughter?
Yeah.
She's 11.
Oh, okay. So
You have all the resources of like everyone there at Twig. Like, how are you
Yeah.
going to feel when she kicks
Bring
your
it.
butt, Leo?
bring it. Jeff, were you worried when Google removed the tablets section from the Android site
Yep.
and then they brought it back?
Phew.
But
My daughter was asking how big a one of the Kindles is, and she said 7 inches. How big is 7 inches? I said, funny you should ask. Out comes my old Nexus 7, which I
that's
adored
funny.
so much.
Oh, so good. So good.
Oh, I loved it.
Let's take a break. We'll come back with more Jeff Jarvis, Stacey Higginbotham, This Week in Google. Our show today brought to you by Rocket Mortgage from Quicken Loans, #1 lender in the country. Woohoo! As of December, #1 in volume, but always #1 in your hearts. 8 years in a row, according to JD Power, #1 in customer satisfaction for mortgage origination, #1 for the last 4 years in mortgage servicing. People love Quicken Loans, and they're going to love it even more when they find out about Rocket Mortgage. It's an entirely online mortgage approval process. No more dressing up to go to the bank. No more big applications, going to the attic and getting paperwork, calling the bank and saying, do you have my bank statement from 2012? None of that. All you got to do is go to rocketmortgage.com/twig. You could do it right now. Set the account up without applying. And then the next time you're at an open house or you see a house you like, or maybe you just want to lock in the low interest rates because interest rates are going to go up. You can refi right now. All you got to do is go to rocketmortgage.com/twig. You can do this on your phone, answer a few simple questions. Then, because they have relationships with all the financial institutions, once you give them permission, they can go out and get everything else they need. You don't have to go through the attic. They do. And it's great because based on income, assets, and credit, in around 10 minutes, usually less, they'll analyze all the home loan options for which you qualify and get back to you with the one that's just right for you. You choose the rate, the term, the down payment, and you're done. You'll apply simply, you'll understand fully, and then you'll mortgage confidently. Rocketmortgage.com NMLS.com/twig. Equal housing lender licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org number 3030. I know this is kind of the home buying season right now. People going out and looking at houses. Go armed. Get right now. Go to rocketmortgage.com/twig. Get it all set up on your phone, and then you'll be ready. You see something you want before you leave the open house. You can show the realtor. We're approved. See, it says that right here. They've even got, for the old-timey realtor, they've got a button that says print out a letter that says you're approved in case they need this. rocketmortgage.com/twig. I think on a Monday, Apple took an opportunity to poke Facebook, and not in a good way, and I think even a little bit of Google as well. So, for instance, in the demo on digital well-being on hiding stuff, they showed usage, and the three sites that they showed: Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. But also, they're beefing up Safari. And this one, Steve Gibson brought this up, and I thought this was a very interesting point. They're going to add tracking protections in Safari to prevent ad tracking, new privacy tools. And they specifically mentioned Facebook. And this is the question that Steve asked. They're going to block the like button and they said share buttons, similar buttons on sites, so that Facebook and presumably others can't get shadow dossiers on you by just following you around on the net, whether you're a member or not, based on the like buttons. That's a good thing. But Steve pointed out, is it going to ask permission for every single thing it sees? And isn't that going to bug you? Are you going to say, right?
It's just like being in Europe.
Like those cookie ads. Oh God, I know there's cookies. Click.
Yeah, but this is going to be more.
Now, having just come from Europe, Stacey, everything now. I mean, it's not. We're all getting this on our email newsletters right now, right? But you're there. It's just bombarding you with verify. The with GDPR. So that's really interesting. Yeah, I'll bet it will be like that.
Craig Federighi said, we've all seen those like buttons and share buttons. Well, it turns out these can be used to track you. It's true. Whether you click on them or not, it's true. And so this year we're shutting that down. And so he showed the web browser will prompt you, do you want to allow Facebook.com to use cookies and website data while browsing a website? Yes or no? Presumably they'll also be allow forever, allow from, I don't know. But if they do that for everything, it's going to be incredibly annoying.
Is that an anti-competitive move?
Well, now what I'm wondering is
maybe an antitrust move?
Yeah, maybe they're only going to do it for Facebook and maybe Google. I mean, maybe Twitter. Maybe they're going to say, we'll allow, because I don't know about if you know this, but every site you go to has multiple trackers on it like that, including Google Analytics, or even our site. And we're not collecting any ad information, but we have Google Analytics. Chartbeat is another one because we want to monitor traffic on the website. As I
always say, this is Apple turning a bug into a business failure into a feature.
I'm really curious.
They tried to sell advertising, they failed. They don't know how to use the data, so they don't need the data. Thus, they can go after everybody else, their competitors, who do use the data as part of their business. Which is not going to just be Facebook. It's not going to just be Google. It's also going to be Amazon.
Yeah, they didn't mention Amazon.
Amazon's making a fortune in advertising now, and Amazon clearly needs to track you to make recommendations. So the big three, so they're going after, they're the fourth horseman attacking the other three.
Well, and then there's this issue. The New York Times said that Facebook told it that Apple, Samsung, and others had asked for information about users on the phone. Facebook
isn't this for the old feature phones? Isn't this going back to an earlier and stupider time at the company, or?
Oh, I don't know. Facebook had.
I believe it was. I believe this was going. Microsoft. Do they have phones now? BlackBerry. This was back to devices. As I didn't read all the stories about it, so I could be wrong.
Yes, it goes back, but they said that some of these are the relationships
in the original.
Facebook says
they should have.
We're going to start turning these off, but they've been going ever since.
They started it and then they let it go on for all kinds of modern devices.
The Times said most of the partnerships remain in effect, though Facebook began winding them down in April. So
just as Cambridge Analytica occurred in 2014, they said, "Oh no," they cut it off in 2015. They've got to audit their earlier life because there's stuff that might have been okay at the time, might have not have been okay at the time. In any case, it ain't okay now, and they got to figure this out.
Facebook allowed the device companies to access the data of users' friends without their explicit consent,
which was the case in 2014.
Even
perhaps.
even after declaring it would no longer share such information with outsiders. Some device makers could retrieve personal information even from user friends who believed they had barred any sharing, the New York Times found. Then Tim Cook says, no, it didn't happen.
Well, and Facebook also kind of took issue with their reporting, but in a very self-serving way.
Yeah. Facebook got a non-denial denial. Tim Cook says, we've never been in the data business. The things mentioned in the Times article about relationships.
They tried to be for a while.
Actually,
and they also keep data on you in your apps in a way, and then they piss off publishers because they don't allow publishers to own the relationship. Apple's not so pure, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, and I've said this for a long time, which always irritates the Apple people, but it's clearly true. And remember, they were going to do iAds, which were in-app advertisements that would clearly have been targeting you. That failed. Well, guess what?
Exactly.
According to the Wall Street Journal, Apple is looking to expand advertising business with new network apps, with new network for apps.
In its controlled world where it knows a heck of a lot about you and will be sharing data, guess what?
They have met with Snap, Pinterest, and other companies about participating in an Apple network that would distribute ads across their collective apps. Now, you and I both know, Jeff, there's no way advertisers are going to buy those ads unless they can target them.
Yes.
It's not competitive if you can't target it.
Right.
Why would they buy it? So, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so
Under the
Apple's
concept
not,
discussed internally and raised with potential partners, users searching in Pinterest app for drapes might turn up an ad distributed by Apple for an interior design app. Snap users searching for the NFL might see an ad for a ticket reseller app, one of the people said. So Apple is only pro your privacy as long as it's good for them. As soon as
Right, as long as they failed so far at delivering a good marketing-based business model. So.
Anyway, Tim Cook said, no, we never, Apple requested, we have, this is so foreign to us and not data we've ever received at all or requested, zero. So somebody's lying. I don't know if it's Facebook or Apple. Here's what Cook said. What we did was we integrated the ability to share in the operating system and made it simple to share a photo and that sort of thing. So that is true. In the operating system, Facebook and Twitter were kind of preordained. Once you connected your Facebook and Twitter account, you could share within Apple apps right to Facebook and Twitter, and that was a nice convenience. By the way, a convenience which has been eliminated apparently from Mojave, the next version of Mac OS, doesn't have that connect with Twitter or connect with Facebook anymore. Now, so it's interesting how, I think Apple, it's true that Apple's business model does not, for now anyway, does not require them to track you, and so they don't. But
because they have you trapped in their ecosystem.
Right.
Sorry, Stacey.
Right. No, I was just going to say they may not have used the data, but they had access to it too. I mean, that's totally
right.
Good point.
I mean, back to the Facebook. If I were them, and the Lord knows I'm not, don't want to be, but if I were them, I'd be hiring some major consultant to go and basically do an audit of everything 2017 and earlier. Every old deal, every old API, every old business structure, and just see what still is living on and get rid of it before it comes and bites again. It just keeps on coming. It's a fertile field for reporting, that's for sure.
And then
what happens when they discover something that's actually making them money?
Right.
Well, at some point, but now there's a different balance of the potential damage. Though damage hasn't really been there. They haven't lost business. They haven't lost users. They haven't lost stock value. So, but there's still damage.
I think it's very cynical of me, but I think it's safe to say that any corporation's number one concern is monetization. They're there to make a profit.
It's their job.
They have a duty to the stakeholders, especially if they're publicly held, to use every opportunity to make profit. And Apple services now make more money than both iOS, iPad and Macintosh. They made almost $10 billion in services this last quarter. That's a big and growing part of their business. So it's not just a hardware company anymore.
Yeah.
iCloud, by the way, bit Paul Manafort on the butt. Did you see that?
Yes, I did. This is one of those cases where sometimes tech is just too hard for people.
So Manafort is being accused by the feds. They want to withdraw his bail and put him back in jail because they say he's tampering with witnesses. They're accusing him of tampering with witnesses. 2 witnesses contacted by Manafort provided the messages to the feds, sulling him out, basically, saying they were he was using WhatsApp and Telegram encrypted messaging services to contact them and persuade them to commit perjury. The evidence obtained by the FBI came from Manafort's iCloud account. Turns out even though he was using encrypted messaging, the contents of the messages were being backed up unencrypted to the iCloud. And of course, the feds sent a warrant to Apple and got the message content.
Does that happen automatically?
I thought they already had a warrant to search his devices.
Maybe they did. Yeah, I mean, iCloud. Well, it's unclear whether this was a new warrant or existing warrant.
And the people he had contacted evidently contacted the authorities and said he's coming after us to tamper with our testimony. My technical question is, if you're on an iPhone and you use Messenger, does it back up automatically to iCloud?
If you back up to iCloud, most people do.
Yes.
Apple encourages you to back up to iCloud.
So everything you do is backed up?
Uh-huh.
In fact, when you sign,
this is where things like Google Photos and iCloud and all of these services, you don't think about how far they go, and that's why I'm saying tech is just sometimes too hard for people because you're like, oh, it's so convenient. I get all my stuff when I lose my phone, neato. But then you're like, oh, it does live somewhere that's not my phone, and that means other people can get it.
Here's the message you get from iCloud on: back up your chat history and media to iCloud, so if you lose your phone or switch to a new one, your chat history is safe. You can restore your chat history and media when you reinstall WhatsApp. That should be, by the way, right there, a red flag. It does say media and messages you back up are not protected by WhatsApp end-to-end encryption while in iCloud.
Oh, that's nice of them.
So you did, I mean, he just didn't read that, but who does? Right. And I think there is very much the general, sense that, Apple, everything's encrypted. Apple's protecting my privacy. I don't have to worry about that. But it's backed up unencrypted to the cloud. And there is a box you can check that says encrypted, but it's not, this I'd like to find out more about, but I think that means it's encrypted on your machine. I still think it's not encrypted in the cloud.
Although I would say if you're going to tamper with witnesses, go the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Do it in person. Do it on the phone.
Get a guy named Joey.
Well, he has ankle bracelets. 2 of them.
Oh, he can't leave the house.
Okay, well, so then he should make. Well, his phone's probably tapped.
Yeah, he's screwed.
Then he's going to have to get creative.
Well, he's going to have to have a friend of mine who can have a chat.
Yeah.
It would be a shame if anything were to happen to your nice home. Signal and Wire don't allow you to back up. So, both messaging apps allow users to set up messages to self-destruct. So
Signal and Wire don't let you back up, so they managed to block that function in Apple.
Yeah, they're not part of the backup.
Got it.
So just a word of warning. Next time you want to do a little witness tampering.
Or anything, really, that might be considered illegal or ill-founded.
Or you just don't want anybody to know.
How did he communicate with the Russians? You think he would have had some training along the way?
No. This stuff's hard.
The competence level being exposed here is not super high.
Do you remember when we were laughing at Facebook? In fact, Jeff, you came up with a solution for this because
I did. This is why I put it on there. Yes.
They said if you don't want revenge nudes to be posted of you, we can prevent that, but first you need to send those nudes to us. That way,
they'll hash them and destroy them was the argument.
Yeah, but
which is what they do.
Yeah, but think somebody's going to have to look at them just to make sure that they are.
Yes, it says there.
Yeah.
Yes. So it will be reviewed by a human being. That alone, right? Now, I argued when we discussed this originally that they should give you a hash so you can scan your own photos and send the hash to Facebook already hashed.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then the problem.
But then you could. They're concerned that then you might hash just photos of yourself.
Right. But the solution
Or
then
other-
to that is that when there is a match, then a human at Facebook
Then they
can
review
it.
Right.
But wait until there's a match before you look at my nude pictures. It's a solution. I think there are better ways to do this, but at least they're doing something about revenge porn, so I can't really complain. A team of 5, count them, 5 Facebook employees will be looking at your nudes.
Eunuchs, all of them.
I was curious about this. So 5 is this each photo, or just a team of 5 is going to handle all revenge porn?
I find it hard to believe that a team of 5 could handle the volume. But
I also
how
think
many
it's
people are
weird
gonna
that 5
send nude
people would
photos
look at
in?
each photo.
yeah, well,
So this was a confusing number of people to me.
and by the way, the image is transformed into a hash and deleted within 7 days. So
Yes.
they want to keep it around for a little longer so we can pass it around a little bit.
Well, my assumption is they will have a backlog and you've got 7 days to deal with it. I could be wrong. I mean, so the idea here is I break up with somebody and they've got naked pictures of me and I'm concerned about what they do with it. I would send them my version of
Your
those
copy
pictures.
of those naked pictures.
Well, that presumes
so
you
it is-
have the naked pictures,
right.
right?
So there's that assumption. And then there's also the assumption, because hashes can be deceived by just altering bits of the original photo.
Yeah, he
So-
could just crop it and it would be a different hash.
Yeah. So there's a lot
Unless
to be
they
concerned
just take the
about
body
here.
part or something like that.
It's
It might just
terrible.
be
I
more
mean, it's
clever.
terrible. It's a terrible thing.
It's terrible that we have to do all
I have
this.
several good friends who've had this happen to them, that, malicious exes have distributed nude pictures of them, and it is devastating, and there's nothing you can do. There really isn't anything you can do about it. It's horrible.
This is why I'm very against nude pictures. I don't
Yeah.
care what.
Yeah, really
no
don't let
sexy photos for you.
Don't let
Kind of a
anybody take.
sensible general statement here, yeah.
Yeah, don't let anybody take pictures of you. I mean, the problem is it's your husband or boyfriend or somebody you
and
love and
guys-
trust at the moment.
Well, and guys also really pressure girls into that, especially younger girls. There's a huge amount of pressure at
it's terrible.
younger ages to be like, oh, yeah, so-and-so sent me a picture of their boobs. I want to see yours. It's like part of flirting.
Well,
How did we get-
now among young people, right? That sexting is very common. So
That's
maybe
sexting.
maybe the answer is there'll be nude pictures of everybody in the future, so it won't be a big deal.
So,
It's not. It's terrible.
Well, that would be my kind of answer, right? So this
That
is
is your
this
answer,
is
yeah.
the ultimate publicness.
Right.
So I was talking to somebody the other day who took a course in photography at Harvard many years ago with a famed photographer. Of course, it was Harvard. And the first assignment, he said, "I want you to pair up for an assignment." So as this woman who told me this said, "Well, you look for the cute boy or the cute girl, and then you soon regret it," because the assignment was to go and photograph each other naked.
What? What a horrible
because
assignment.
only this way, said this professor, you understand how the person is making themselves vulnerable to you when you go take their portrait.
Lord, that
And
professor's
no.
a dirty old man.
That ain't happening today. One hopes.
I do remember in acting class, I had a love scene, not a naked love scene, but like you'd be kissing somebody, which is very hard, by the way, to just kiss somebody in an acting scene. But I had a partner and we'd rehearsed it and we got used to it, so it was fine. And then the day of the performance, the acting teacher says, "Okay, switch partners." And it was like, what? It was surprisingly difficult. But I think that was the intent, because if you're an actor, I think you have to get used to that, right? I don't think
I was watching.
naked pictures
Don't tell me what happened. Do not tell me what's happened, because I'm an episode and a half away from the end. Watching The Americans
nope.
is interesting.
I can't hear any of it.
I know I can't either.
You're
But it's
safe
interesting
with
to see
me.
them-
I've never seen it.
I
it's
want to
great
see it.
though.
I haven't seen.
Everybody's
I haven't started
raving
this
about the
season.
last episode like it's the best thing ever,
But
right?
I don't want to
Yeah.
hear anything, chat room. Nobody. I don't want to hear anything. But when they kiss, because I have a crush on her. She's wonderful, and
She's
so
cute
they
too.
had a crush on each other, and they now are a couple, and they're having a kid. But they had a kid. But when they kiss on the show, you just look at it differently, right? You know it's not an actor at that moment, but it isn't an actor at that moment. It's interesting to me.
Yeah, I always feel really bad for actors that have to do love scenes. I really do.
Well, and he's got this crazy Welsh accent.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you ever see him talk, you're like, what? Philip? No.
Oh, the actor himself is Welsh, but he plays an American.
Yes.
Well, or is he a Russian playing an American?
A Russian who plays an American.
Wow. So how many seasons?
5 or 6.
Wow, I got a lot to watch. I'm saving some really good shows for the old age home because I figure I'll be watching more TV then.
Or download them.
You should watch The Americans soon.
I think I started.
They'll still be good shows.
I watched the first season, I think.
It was not popular at the beginning. I liked it since the beginning.
I love her. I think she's great.
She is just great. Billions? Have you watched Billions?
Billions is great. I'm all up to date
that.
on Billions. Oh, what a good show.
Babylon Berlin.
Best show ever. Excellent. Also, interestingly, the most expensive TV show ever made.
Wow.
I'm not sure why, but I guess they recreate Berlin in 1928. So.
Oh yeah, it's phenomenal.
Yeah, so it's a beautiful show.
Okay.
Now here's the other question.
No.
No, we like talking TV.
I had to give up. I had to give up on Handmaid's Tale. It was too dystopian.
I couldn't watch it. It was grim.
Oh, yeah.
Couldn't do it. Season 2.
I gave up.
Couldn't do it.
I gave
season
up on
2. I gave up episode 1. I have to watch. I couldn't.
I watched. I was stuck on a plane, so I gave up midway through season 1, and then I watched the rest on the plane. But then I was like, season 2. I was like, oh, no, I can't.
Did you start at all or no?
No, I saw some of the. I did see. I saw a screener at the first screener, and I was like, nope, done.
Yeah.
I didn't make it through the episode.
Yep.
Sonos has announced a new speaker with
Madam A.
Madam A built in. It's the Sonos Beam $399. It is designed to be a sound bar, but it's small. I think it was Dieter Bohn in The Verge compared it to a baguette. It's 24 inches. Look at all the speakers in here, and it has Madam A built in. So it would not. The thinking is,
And HomeKit, right?
And HomeKit. The thinking
and
is
Google, right?
It has 7 array mics. It doesn't do Google out of the box.
No Google out of the box. Sorry. So just Siri and Alexa.
They say eventually.
Sorry.
Google Assistant. It does support AirPlay 2, Apple's new protocol, which they just put out a year after they announced it. So the idea of this is this is Dieter Bohn says it is like a Dieter Rams designed digital baguette. It is the idea is it's for somebody who wants a assistant device but doesn't want to have one sitting in the living room. So this is your TV soundbar and it's your assistant, which I think is an interesting idea. You're gonna stop seeing standalone assistants in like another year or two.
I
think you're right.
Which makes sense.
This
you can now have it in a thermostat, so now it's in your hallway. I've got it in light switches, so now it's wherever that needs to be. And in your media places, you'll have your Sonos devices, and I don't know what else has these things built in.
And both Google and Amazon are really fostering this, right? They have APIs and make it easy for companies to do this.
So I actually, in the information a couple weeks ago, did a story talking about how if you are a Madam A enabled device hardware partner, that Google doesn't want to play with you.
It sounds kind of obscene.
Madam A.
Madam A. Sounds like S&M or something, but keep going.
Get your mind out of the gutter. It is it's like a polite name for something.
Yes. I just call it Echo.
I know, but it just sounds so mysterious.
Echo seems safe.
Echo does seem safe. Okay, so
yes.
Let's see if I can find that information article, because that was really interesting.
If they know that you're doing that, they say, no, you're not going to be able to use our Madam A.
Right.
Interesting. So there is a little competition going on.
Yep.
One or the other. You got to decide. Amazon themselves have launched, this is weird, 4 new PC designs with a Madam A built in. So
you're doing my show.
Yeah, this is you, baby. We were talking about this on
Kevin and I talked about.
Windows Weekly. These are with something called ODMs. So it turns out Dell and other companies actually, in many cases, don't manufacture their own computers. They are manufactured by original design manufacturers, ODMs, and then sold with other people's brands. So whether this, I'm not sure if this will be over an Amazon brand. The lineup includes all-in-one desktops from Wistron, Compal, Quantum, none of whom you've ever heard of, but you probably owned at some point a Wistron or a Compal.
They also make their big server they started out in the server business with them. Now they do the PCs.
Right. So there's a couple of notebooks, convertible notebooks. There's an all-in-one PC, and all of these have Madame A built in. I'm not sure if that means Amazon will sell them or if Amazon's going to make them available to HP, Lenovo, and Acer. Speaking of Lenovo, that Lenovo Google Home is coming in a few weeks.
You know, we saw that on B&H Photo.
They took it down.
And they took it down.
Yeah.
But the ship date was 9/3, which I believe is Labor Day or the day after.
Supposed to be July 17th.
What's the price of that one going to be?
No, it said you could pre-order, but the ship date was 9/3.
Right.
Do we know the price?
It depends on if it's an 8-inch or a 10-inch.
They have a nice big one, and that's the one I'd like to get. I love everybody hates their Echo Show, but I love it. And
I don't love mine, but I do want, especially if I keep if I keep my Google stuff, then, or rather buy the Google stuff, then I would want it because it is nice to be like, who's at the door, and see a picture of them.
Yes, exactly. Or Jimmy Fallon's monologue.
My daughter watches. She asks Madame A for
little
TV
YouTube
shows.
videos and stuff. Did you read the Wall Street Journal article, Kristen Grind and Deepa Seetharaman, behind the messy, expensive split between Facebook and WhatsApp's founders?
I split with the Wall Street Journal, so I can't read it.
Oh.
I didn't have access to it either. But I can tell you that the Lenovo ones, I'll tell you, 8-inch is $150, 10-inch is $229.99.
Wow, that's very aggressive.
That's not bad at all.
That's cheap, much cheaper than the show.
Oh, and they're nice, and they can go. The big one, I think, goes in portrait and landscape. So
it's got that weird dog ear to hold it up.
Okay,
so,
sorry. Back to that.
Apparently,
back to drama.
The WhatsApp creators are leaving $1.3 billion on the table walking away from Facebook. Now, remember, they made $22 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're going away poor. But apparently the dispute was whether there should be ads in WhatsApp. The WhatsApp duo of Jan Koum and Brian Acton had persistent disagreements. We kind of know that because both of them have tweeted nasty things about Facebook. Acton said everybody should get off Facebook. It's terrible. In recent years, the two have battled Mark Zuckerberg and Sheryl Sandberg, who grew impatient for a greater return on the company's 2014 blockbuster $22 billion purchase of the messaging app. Many of the disputes with Facebook involved how to manage data privacy. Yeah, we're not surprised Facebook wanted some of that WhatsApp info. Also, about making money from WhatsApp's large user base, including through targeted ads, which Koum and Acton had long opposed. In the past couple of years, Sandberg and Zuckerberg pushed the WhatsApp founders to be more flexible and move faster in other plans to generate revenue. Once, after Koum said, I don't have enough people to implement a project you propose, Zuckerberg dismissed him with, I have all the people you need. That makes sense. You pay $22 billion for something. You want to make a little money back.
Yeah, well, but if you paid $22 billion for something and then you told them that you weren't going to do something and then decided to change your mind, I think that's a little different. Well, I mean, when you decide... If you're going to promise them not to sell ads, but you're still going to shell out $22 billion, maybe they're not worth it.
Right. When Facebook, this is again Wall Street Journal. When Facebook bought WhatsApp, it never publicly addressed how the divergent philosophies would coexist. The WhatsApp founders were very privacy focused. That's why they created WhatsApp. Zuckerberg told stock analysts that he and Koum agreed advertising wasn't the right way to make money from messaging apps. Zuckerberg also said he promised the co-founders the autonomy to build their own products.
That's what you say at every time you buy something.
Right, but this is again, Mark is not a trustworthy individual. He is very much whatever needs to happen will happen. Maybe let's call it realpolitik if we're being nice, but I would just say he's a straight up liar.
Trustworthy to whom? To his shareholders? That's the other way to look at it.
Well, but his shareholders then, you can't go spending $22 billion on something and promise them that you're not going to do the one thing that could make you that money, It's
Yeah, all I'm saying, I mean, this is Steve Avadianathan makes this point where he says that I'm too optimistic about companies. The companies must be companies. They can't be anything else but. And so, of course, they're going to do this. And that's what we just recognize.
Right. Well, and if we want to recognize that, then we should take much stronger steps to rein them all in, I think. I mean, these guys are promising to be so social, to be so lovely and friendly and change the world for the better. But
if they had stayed till this November, Acton left last year, Coombe leaves mid-August officially. If they stayed till November, Acton both would have been fully vested, which would have meant $900 million to Brian Acton, $400 million to Jan Coombe. They were so unhappy that they left that money on the table and walked, even though all they would have had to do is stay till November.
Yeah, but they already had money. I mean,
yeah, I guess once you have $1 billion or $2 billion, it doesn't really.
Well, yeah.
Still, I don't know.
I mean, yes, it's a lot of money to walk away from, but they probably felt pretty bad. I mean, put yourself in their shoes. They created this thing, and it is now they sold it, which was probably kind of dumb of them. And now,
no, it wasn't dumb. Are you kidding?
You got $22 million.
That was the best
from their point of view, based on what they built it for.
Yeah.
Then they're having this attack of conscience. It's probably easier to walk away from that so they could sort of still live with themselves.
The Journal says that it wasn't a spoken disagreement. There was a lot of passive aggressive stuff going on. The WhatsApp employees were very noise sensitive, and so there's a sign here that says, "Please keep noise to a minimum." A sign in WhatsApp's offices at Facebook headquarters. Some Facebook employees mocked WhatsApp with chants of, "Welcome to WhatsApp. Now shut up." Coombe was from the Ukraine, not the Ukraine, was from Ukraine. Thank you. And very focused on privacy. They sat across from each other at Yahoo. Remember that story? It was a great story. And hated it. And they left Yahoo because they were really upset with the display ads. They thought it was garish. It ruined the user experience. So they kind of melded over how much they hated the ad experience at Yahoo. And they wanted to launch WhatsApp ad-free. Remember, it charged 99 cents. No ads, designed to be secure.
And the only thing is, how do you actually, when you sell your company, you give up your company?
That's called selling it.
And
yeah,
I mean, are you going to have a, what do you call it when you have a piece of property that has
but right. But they did have a duty, and they tried to meet it to their users, where they had stipulations on the sale.
That's a good point.
That there were stipulations. Were there contractual stipulations on the sale?
Apparently,
you can't do that when you sell a company. There never are.
Yeah. There's two reasons I've never sold.
The board's not going to let you.
There's two reasons I've never sold Twit. I mean, I really seriously, I never wanted to give any. I knew, you sell it, you give up control. I never even took investors. The other reason is nobody offered. But that's neither here nor there. I always wanted to keep control. It's if you even take investment, you're giving up control. That's just what happens.
Yeah, it's just reality.
Everybody knows.
And yeah, so I'm not arguing, Stacey, that they weren't fighting the right fight, fighting the right battle.
Oh, no, they were.
It's naive as hell to think once you're selling a company that you still have control of it. You don't. That's the definition of sale.
Oh, wait a minute.
You gave it up.
Wait a minute.
What?
Mr. Zuckerberg assured Messrs. Coombe and Acton at the time, this is the Wall Street Journal report, that he would not place advertising in the messaging service. They also negotiated an unusual clause in their contracts that said if Facebook insisted on making any additional monetization initiatives, such as advertising in the app, it could give the executives good reason to leave and cause an acceleration of stock awards.
Why didn't they get their full vesting then?
Well,
or did they get an accelerated? Maybe they got an accelerated vesting. Maybe they got more than they would have got.
Nobody really knows. Yeah.
So
Acton initiated the clause, but Facebook's legal team threatened to fight. So already worth more than $3 billion, Acton just walked away. He left $900 million on the table.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, but that's it's in your contract. That's what it is. And there's always a clause that says They can change their mind, and here's what it costs you.
Right.
Right.
We don't know that there won't be more.
There may be
action in this. It's a great story. It'd be worth paying for the Wall Street Journal just to get that.
Yeah, that's pretty expensive.
You can't do it, huh? Wow. See, I won't pay for Bloomberg. I won't pay $35 a month for the Bloomberg website. But the Journal I'll pay for.
The only one that's bugging me that I haven't paid for yet that I may end up paying for just because of what we do here, but I haven't is Wired.
Oh, I
Wired's only
Wired.
$5 a month.
Yeah, it's super cheap.
That's worth it.
And you get a YubiKey.
Yeah. I think Conde did the right thing with Wired. I'm really surprised Bloomberg's asking for so much. Although they have great content, I'll probably end up paying it.
What are they asking?
$35 a month.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Dude, the Wall Street Journal's asking for $18.50.
But you get a newspaper.
Magicals. I don't want a newspaper. Then I got to go down my front yard. I got no intelligent gadgets that grab it. Yeah, no, that's not cool.
Lisa likes the newspaper.
Well, she can come down. She can walk down my driveway.
Actually,
and
I think we might have gone all digital, but we started. She subscribed to it early on, and then we got the digital as a result.
Yeah.
Stacey,
I want no papers.
You can now get Madam A's Echo Look in your house for a mere $200.
I saw that and I was like, oh, but it's still so expensive. Leo, I'm sad that you never sent me yours because I have all kinds of fashionista things.
I'm sending it to you right now.
All right.
It's just sitting in my office. Like, I'm not going to use it.
Dang it. I really want, because I was like, oh, $200 is too much to pay for that, but I'm really curious.
Merry Christmas.
Woo!
When's your birthday?
April 12th. So
happy birthday. I missed it. I'm so sorry. It's on its way.
Here's a scary, invasive camera that will take pictures of your clothing.
And it's still linked to my account.
I'm going to fix that.
Oh. No,
that's job one.
I don't use it, so you're absolutely welcome to it. Would you like? I also have the scanning wand for your refrigerator. Would you like that? I'll throw that in. Oh, you already have.
No,
that.
my daughter discovered that ours makes noise. I guess she never realized this. So actually, the last 2 weeks, she's been running around.
Soon your Apple Watch will do that too. That'll be nice. The Apple Watch is adding walkie-talkie functionality like those Nextel phones. You remember how horrible that was when people had Nextel phones? Did you ever get stuck with, like in a subway car, Jeff, or,
push to talk
with those push?
Yeah.
Leo, can you pick up some bread on the way home?
I was thinking the other day how that was.
Yeah, honey.
It wasn't Nextel. That was the only thing that kept them alive, but it was a key feature for some businesses, right?
Yeah, no, a lot of construction people. It was.
You had to have.
It was the end of the world. Look at that. I'm going to pack that up. That is going to you, Stacey Higginbotham, your very own Leo Laporte camera in your house.
I'm just going to call it the Echo Look.
Would you do me a favor, though, when you pose for it, would you say, hi, Leo?
No. No.
No? Oh, well. Oh, well.
I'll give you my feedback on the show. How's that?
It's cool enough. I mean, it is, it's got a,
maybe my outfits will be better. That's what
you'll get better results than I ever did. That's
because I have a lot more variety,
No,
Shirts,
it's not
skirts,
for me,
dresses,
obviously,
teams.
but you, I mean, for somebody who has, I don't have outfits, but if somebody had outfits and looks, it would probably be a good thing. This is the thing that does a style check and it will say which look is better. And I'm not sure how it knows. And they say they do it with machine learning, but also human fashion experts. I'd be very curious what you think of it, actually. This is good. I'm glad I can send it to you. I'm glad we mentioned this. I had no idea you wanted it.
Yay. Thank you.
Anything you see of mine that you want, just tell me, because most of this stuff ends up in a box somewhere.
Tesla.
I have one of those.
Dibs.
Jeff's like, on it.
They're really knocking it out of the park with these batteries. This is a very interesting.
Yeah.
From Australia to Puerto Rico, the company is changing the world's power grids, according to Fast Company, and making renewable energy more reliable. These giant batteries store the energy. This is always a problem with solar arrays and wind arrays. You can get a lot of, juice, But the problem is at night or when the wind dies down, you don't have any. Storage is critical. So the cost of battery storage, thanks, I think, to a great degree to Tesla, is dropping 73% between 2010 and 2016, from $1,000 a kilowatt hour to $273 a kilowatt hour. Wow. And they expect that to keep dropping by 2025 to $70 a kilowatt hour.
So Bill Gross from Idea Lab, our mutual friend.
Yes.
He has all kinds of businesses around energy storage involving hot rocks and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
He explained to me that a lot of times water is pumped up and then comes back down as an energy storage mechanism, right?
Yep.
And the calculations around the cost per kilowatt hour is just fascinating, absolutely fascinating.
I agree. It really solves this issue of renewables because they're not consistent. It's not like a generator.
Right.
And if you can solve this, it's going to be huge for us all. It's going to change the world. So one research firm estimates annual energy storage deployments will go from 2.3 gigawatt hours last year to almost 10 times greater in 2022 to 21.6 gigawatt hours. And it's all about Tesla. And they've really, you know.
So is he uniquely good at making batteries? Does he have something that other batteries, or does he just see a market differently?
I think he focused on it early on. Mm-hmm. And they,
put
of course,
a whole bunch together.
Built the Gigafactory, right?
Yep.
I think Elon was really smart. He doesn't see electric cars, as the end game. It was a step along the road to a better world, a world where we're not reliant on fossil fuels. I mean, he wrote it all out. It's really
less a better world and more like stopping us from destroying the world before we
a world
can get
we
to
can
Mars.
continue to live in.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Mars, schmars, someday.
Well, no, I mean that's his plan though. That was his.
He likes Mars.
That's fair.
I'll give him that. It's fine.
I like Mars too. I don't know if I'd really want to live there.
I question whether we'll be able to live there, frankly, whether it'll be worth the energy. What do you think of this? Now, I love Nuzzle. I'm a big fan of Nuzzle. We've had Jonathan on, the guy who created Friendster. Nuzzle is something he created. I use it all the time. They've decided to do, Jonathan Abrams, who founded it, has decided to do something that actually Elon was thinking about doing with his Pravda thing. Nuzzle Rank, an authority ranking of news sources using signals from top business influencers. Have you seen this, Jeff?
Yeah, I have. Jonathan sent it to me. I think it's very interesting, and I'm going to be doing a fair amount of work around this question of how to help determine quality in news, and not an easy thing to do at all. Sorry, the sunlight's coming into my house.
I like the idea that it will incorporate signals from actual users, the behavior.
Yeah, I think
of users.
So here's the way I ran a session at Newsgeist on this, and here's the 6 areas of signals about quality that I see. Ready? 1, self-declared signals. Trust Project. Sally Lerman and Richard Gingras, 80 news sites have promised to ascribe to certain standards, and that needs to be audited. 2, observed signals. Ad companies like TrustMetrics and Moats look at sites and say, oh, they have junky ads, or they have hate speech, or they have this or that. 3, algorithmic scaling of the above. 4 is behavior. You failed 100 fact checks. 5 is public opinion, which is some subset of the public. And 6 is endorsements. I trust you, Leo, to tell me who good tech sites are. And at the end, there's all kinds of people doing signals across all those kinds of areas, and they're all disparate. And I'm going to try to work on a project to bring them all together into an aggregation to make them useful to platforms and ad networks and ad agencies. So all these efforts to create more signals around quality and lack thereof in news, I salute, and I'm glad it's there.
I'll be curious about that, because as a small site, I feel like I'm eminently credible in the area that I cover, but conveying that can be tough. Like in the idea of having, right. Well, in the audit, like an audit or something like that is interesting so long as it's something that I can, as a single person or 2-person shop, can handle, right? So that gets, I'm like, ooh, because darn it, I'm credible.
Look up the Trust Project, Stacey.
I will look it up.
Is it something that I think it's mainly for larger sites? The Washington Post is doing it. The Globe and Mail is doing it. And I'll be interested to hear what burden it would be on a small site. Maybe none at all. It's things like labeling opinion versus news coverage, having a masthead, having reporter bios, things like that. But let me know.
Here's what Jonathan writes. There are 3 components to calculating a Nuzzle rank score. Proprietary Nuzzle data, including reading behavior of our users. I read Nuzzle every day. It's part of my news gathering. So they pay attention to what I click on, what I read. Integration of external signals about the engagement and authority of news sources. I'm not sure what that means, but it's what you were talking about, Jeff.
That's what I'm talking about. It's all those things that may exist. Yep.
Right. And then partnerships with initiatives like the Trust Project and NewsGuard. And so they have 100,000 sources, Nuzzle does. So presumably with 100,000, that would include Stacey on IoT and a lot of other things. That's a lot.
If people link to it, if I link to Stacey on IoT enough and you do, then Nuzzle picks it up. That's how they get it.
Right. Surveying is not, I think, you can't ask somebody, is this trustworthy or not?
And Facebook did that around Broadly Trusted, but I talked to a guy named Rasmus Kleist-Nielsen, who's a brilliant researcher at Oxford Institute for the Study of Journalism. And he argued that it is an important factor, that it's only one, and it can be outweighed by other factors. But next week he's releasing a study that on top news sites against political views and other factors, and he argued that it matters because it's what the public is telling you one way or another. What's interesting about Nuzzles is he's defining it as business leaders. Now I don't know if he's cutting off some users and emphasizing others. I have no idea what he's doing, but Nuzzle is pretty much a news junkie service.
Well, it's it sounds a little bit like Google's PageRank, which is the higher ranked the source that's ranking you, the stronger that signal,
I heard somebody recently say that PageRank is as much as a goner because it's just got gamed so much.
Yeah, that's too bad. Gaming is always a problem. It's going to be a problem with anything.
It's always the problem.
Humans are terrible that way. So I went to nuzzle.com/rank, and it's not live yet, but I look forward to seeing it on. It's nuzzel.com if you want to.
Have we had Jonathan on the show? Have you had him on triangulation?
We've done triangulation with him. I like Jonathan a lot, and I think he's been on. We could get him on again.
I think he's been on.
I think he's been on with us, actually. Yeah, I can't remember. I like him a lot, and I think what he's doing with Nuzzle, he's kind of hung in there because I think it's probably been tough.
It has been.
Yeah.
It's a case of having a good service without necessarily coming in with a business model, but it's a really good service. I use it every day too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I actually told Alan, oh gosh, what's his last name? Now he's the editor-in-chief over at Time Inc. or Meredith or whatever. Whoever
Murray.
Owns it now. Alan Murray, thank you. He was asking me how I kept track of everything, and I was like, oh, Nuzzle, it's great. So he started using it.
No, the irony of Nuzzle is it gets its signals from Twitter and if you included Facebook, and it's a great way to stay on top of what's going on Twitter without reading Twitter. I really like it for that reason.
I'm curious. I'll roll this. Have you guys been using the new Google News?
Every day.
Mine's still not getting better, Jeff. I'm not loving it.
Oh.
I am constantly telling it how sucky I think its decisions are to me, and it is constantly showing me sucky decisions.
Let me see what my top 5 are, just out of curiosity, because I think it varies.
It does vary. I agree.
CNN, number 1, Trump's great night for Republicans in the California primaries wasn't so great after all. Number 2, NBC News, Melania Trump making her first appearance. Jalopnik, number 3, teardown of Tesla's Model 3 battery. So it does kind of know what my interests are. Number 4, FCC accused of spreading lies. Number 5, The Beam, Sonos is ambush. So those 4 or 5 are actually all articles I would read. It's clearly paying attention to my signals. But remember, Stacey, if you hit the headlines button, that's not in any way algorithmic. That's just all the news. So,
right, but
it's
for
algorithmic,
me,
but it's not.
So my
personalized.
Stacey's briefing today is President Trump today.
Yeah.
Trump predicts red wave. Kenan Thompson, SNL. Kanye's Project Wyoming from Pitchfork. And then Valve says it will now everything on Steam unless it's illegal or, quote, straight up trolling. Of those stories, I would probably only click on the Valve one.
Huh.
And
I'm President Trump today. This is basically a home run for Democrats. Attempted burglary of a car in the next town over. Siri, Google, Alexa aren't yet equipped to handle people with suicidal tendencies. Uh-oh.
It's interesting how different our
here's everything new in Android P development preview.
It's funny how different these three are. So different. Wow.
Yeah, I still have so much celebrity news. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Well, I had more. This is the first. That's usually my complaint, Stacey. I agree. This one, funnily enough, it's down.
You've gone into favorites and taken that out, right?
High-end Google Pixel Book is now only $749 for Father's Day.
Did you see that? They dropped the price a lot.
See, I do not get these.
That's a good price.
Ghost of John Perry Barlow lives on in his posthumous memoir.
Oh,
I didn't know that. So these are things that I'm interested in. I gotta say, it's better than the last time I looked.
Oh, I just saw that on Twitter.
Well, there you go. So this is good. So they have a Father's Day gift guide. Let's see. This is good. The Google Pixel Book, save $250 on the 128. Oh, it's the low end one, not the high end one. Did you say it was the high end one, Jeff?
That's what the headline said. I think they mean Pixel high end in general.
Oh yeah.
Not the high end Pixel, but the high end.
So it's $750 for the base model, which is what I have, what you and I both have, and it's fine.
Yeah,
that's a good price. $750. I think that's fair for that. Students can save 10%. All right, let's see. They are adding new phones.
Oh, really? Yeah. On top of that?
I don't know if it's on top of that. They are adding new phones to Google Fi. I'm happy to say you can now use Motorola. There are a couple of phones from Motorola, like the G5, the G6.
You can also add your kids to a family plan now.
Oh,
the Google Fi family plan can now include kids.
Ooh, that's good news.
Under 13. I mean, obviously, it's up to the parent how it's run.
Someday I really.
When they turn 13, you just pay for them on another.
They're another adult. Yeah.
They're another adult. Yeah. Dude, I don't want this drives me nuts because my child at 13 is not an adult.
Right.
She does get more.
But if
she gets more things,
phone,
actually, 13-year-olds should cost more than adults.
On a phone?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
Of course they should.
I don't talk on them.
She uses it more than you do.
Well, no, not more than My daughter, I bet she spends an hour on the phone a year.
What? You mean talking?
Well, yeah, talking, but also she has a phone that she never charges. She is constantly just on her computer.
That's awesome.
But it's because they don't go anywhere. And when they go places, they just go places with like she loads up her computer and like goes to a friend's house.
Wow, that's interesting.
It is so weird.
She's an outlier, and she may also be too young.
Well,
see what happens.
Her school is an outlier because all of her friends do this too.
Okay,
I think
so.
Maybe or maybe that's
you do
just
what your friends do. You do what your friends do.
So, I have bad news, you guys.
What?
My special, like my
didn't come.
Well,
let me do an ad.
It was delivered.
Let me,
and then it didn't come.
Let me do an ad. Maybe it'll come during
run downstairs. Maybe it's by the garage. You said it was delivered.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
Maybe
I'll
they put it in the wrong place.
Go check. We'll find out.
Okay.
Our picks of the week coming up after this word from our sponsor, Moogsoft. You know, if you're in IT, you know it's crazy out there. You're getting all these alerts and tickets lighting up your monitor, your phone, all these notifications. Sometimes they're coming so fast and furious, you don't even know what's wrong. You can't figure out what to do first. That's not being productive. That's just being stressed out. No mere mortal can analyze all those alerts and respond to all those tickets, and that's why you can use and need to use Moogsoft's AI Ops to reduce the noise and get things done. Moogsoft's AI Ops. AI stands for Algorithmic IT Ops. It's a platform that reduces your IT alerts and tickets by, get this, 99% guaranteed. Up to 99% guaranteed. Moogsoft's AI Ops platform integrates with all of your existing IT tools. Of course it does, otherwise it wouldn't be useful. You get all of those notifications. But then what happens is their patented technology based on machine learning correlates events into situations. These are actionable work items, and they're far fewer, but they're all correlated in together so you can focus on tackling the stuff that matters and get back to work. This is awesome. Here's a case study from HCL Technologies. They're a global IT managed service provider, and they use MoogSoft's AI Ops as the event management layer in their award-winning Dry Ice platform. They say that's helped their clients streamline operational workflows and reduce time in the detect-to-correct life cycle of incident tickets. 33% reduction in mean time to restore. 33%, which means they can support more customers with service quality, keep operational costs low and efficiency high. HCL Technologies loves it. You will too. With MoogSoft AI Ops, you can reduce your IT alerts and tickets by up to 99% right now. Get a demo. That's the best thing to do. By the way, correlates alerts across tools, and that's something else. You've got 15 different tools, and they're each warning you, alerting you the same condition. You don't want that. You want to get information coming in, see how they bundle them up into a situation. It's something you can handle. It's all on the website, moogsoft.com. Get a demo. Why not? MOOGSOFT.com. It's the next generation platform for IT incident management. Moogsoft.com. Try it today. Stacey's back. Was it down there?
No.
They lied to you. How dare they?
Or they delivered it to your neighbor.
Well, it might be. I still have something cool to show you, so it's not the end of the world. But
fire when ready, Stacey.
This was the Wyze Cam Pan Cam that I was going to show you. But now
I ordered one.
I ordered one too. It was supposed to be here today.
3. Oh.
Wow. All right.
Wyze Cam?
We talked about, you weren't here. $30. Right. That's why I ordered 3. They're cheap. And they're cameras that will pan, tilt, zoom. Do they tilt and zoom? No, just pan probably.
No, they tilt and zoom.
PTZ.
They 360 and then
Wyze
93.
Cam V2.
That's it. Yes. No. Wyze Cam Pan Cam.
Now.
No. The V2 is the second.
Cam Pan.
Yes.
WYZE. Wow. I wonder if mine's on its way too, since you got yours.
But I didn't get mine.
Maybe it came to me instead. Did you order it before you talked about it that day?
I did. Okay. I had ordered it that morning.
That morning. Oh.
Yes. But today I'm going to talk to you about, I don't know if you can see it. Can you see this little glowing thing on my wall back here?
Yes.
What? Oh, wait. This is the wrong camera.
Lower. It's up hidden behind the bug. Yeah, there it is.
There it is. Ta-da. Okay, so I'm going to go get that and show you all about it. I love these like Blair Witch style videos I do.
Shaky cam. She's unplugging it. Is it an Eero beacon? What is it?
All right. This is the Awair Glow. And this device is a air quality monitor plus a smart outlet.
Ooh.
So you have the pass-through right here. Oh, no, we're no longer looking. Oh, there it is. The pass-through right there. So, or you can have it.
So it's a plug. Yeah.
The light, there's a light that goes around here that acts as a night light. And then there's another light here that glows green or yellow or red to like give you a visual indicator of your air quality. And I just got 2 minutes ago that the CO2 in here is high.
Uh-oh, that's because there's a lot of hot air.
Stop breathing.
There is a lot of hot air. Right now we're in a rush hour reward situation. So my air quality is about to go way down.
What's a rush hour reward?
It's demand response. Sorry, they call it rush hour reward, my utility. So let's go to the score.
Oh, I see. You get your electricity costs less.
No, they turn my thermostat down or up rather because we're having trouble producing enough power.
The utility does?
Uh-huh. It's a voluntary program.
Oh, neat. So how do they access your thermostat?
I will show you. It's my Nest, and they just go right in there, and they say, that is not my Nest app. Let's go to my Nest app. So, like right here, it's like 81 degrees in here, and it's like...
Jeez.
It's getting hot in here. That's really hot.
It is hot.
Is it that hot out there?
Oh, my God. It's like 102 degrees right now.
But you don't have AC in your house?
Well, no, I do have AC. It's just right now it's set to 82 to save energy.
Oh, because it's a rush hour reward.
Right.
What? And wow.
Now, you guys don't have this?
No.
Oh.
Okay.
Here in Petaluma, it's always a balmy 72 degrees.
Okay, well that's nice.
And dry.
And dry. We don't really have the extremes. People don't have AC out here. In fact, I actually had a house for 4 years that didn't even have heat. It was an unheated, unair-conditioned house when the kids were young. And
did you have plumbing?
Yes, we did. But there was a wood-burning stove in the kitchen, and that was all. It doesn't really get that cold here.
Huh.
Bring back outhouses.
Yeah.
Anyway, the coolest thing about this device.
Sorry.
No, I'm like, I don't know what to say to that.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Is you can actually plug this. You can plug, if you plug certain devices like a fan or a humidifier or a air quality or air filter through here, you can tell the app what kind of device is plugged in, and it will actually, when it gets too hot, it'll turn on the fan or it'll purify your air. So if you're in New York,
so much work to get up and turn on the fan.
Okay, it's automatic. So what we have it plugged into an air purifier, and so when it detects high chemicals, but if you have like if you have a
so what does it
unit,
detect besides CO2?
VOCs,
Okay.
CO2, humidity, and temperature.
Not pollen.
That's particulate matter in the air. So
Not
that's part
carbon
of the
monoxide.
VOC.
Not carbon,
It's not a carbon
monoxide.
monoxide.
Not carbon monoxide, just carbon dioxide.
Just CO2 and volatile organic compounds like paint. Yeah, interesting. But it's not expensive.
How do you get too much CO2 in the air besides hot air? Too many people.
She needs to open her window.
So what do you do?
It gives you little notifications like, hey, open your window. This is happening. And like when I'm cooking, I can see like, holy cow, my chemicals in the air are going nutty. So.
Oh, that's interesting. Huh.
And you can actually set it to prioritize different things. So I have mine set for allergies because we all have allergies. You can also set it for productivity. So then it tends to want to keep it cooler and notifies you if it gets too warm and if there's too much CO2. So is this the most accurate sensor on the face of the planet? I think not. But it is nice for general trend tracking, and it's for $99. It's also a lovely smart plug. You can actually use it without just to turn it on and off remotely, like if you stuck a curling iron in there.
Nice.
Cool.
And it's not expensive. I like that.
Can I ask you about the Wyze camera I missed last week?
Yes.
No.
So here's my issue. Stacey, you're so mean to me. So here's my issue. Wonderful little lovely cat girl can't pee in the litter box for the dam. Half the time is peeing like right out. Like in the litter box, feet are there, but somehow managed to pee. We have no idea how this happens. We don't know what to do. We don't have no idea. We tried high boxes, low boxes. So which camera should I put on her? Do I need the full pan cam and all that? So I guess what I need is
$30
motion sensor, and then it turns on.
Yes,
what about the Wyze Cam
does.
V2?
That has motion sensing.
Both of them have motion sensors.
Both have motion sensors.
It stays on. I mean, it motion when it has.
Stop it from moving if you don't want it to move. Oh, that's just a feature, right?
Yeah, that's a feature where you're like,
okay.
It's the patrol feature.
It'll also scare the cat, stop her from peeing at all, and then we'll have a hell of a mess in the house.
So wait, you just
moving around.
You want the camera just to like send you a picture of the cat not peeing in the litter box?
No, peeing in the litter box. I want to figure out how she pees because we cannot figure out how she pees.
I don't know if this camera is going to really pick that up.
Oh, yeah, you're going to have to. That's sure.
Well, it's going to record her peeing. Now, I'm waiting for you privacy nuts to go after me and tell me that the cat has some level of privacy I'm violating here.
No, the cat has no level. If the cat is peeing in front of you, the cat doesn't care.
Well, it won't be in front of us. That's the problem.
You'd have to put it near the litter box, close enough so that you can actually see what's going on.
We'll do.
15 frames a second, 8x digital zoom, 1920 by 1080. That's pretty good. It sees pets. See that? See that?
Oh, it's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, it saw Norm, which is Kevin's dog. So yeah, it's $20, Jeff. Just stick it in there and see what happens.
So which one? No, so I get the Wyze Cam 2 or I get the Wyze Cam pan cam?
No, the pan's going to move, and if the pan moves and your cat freaks out, that's not going to help you.
By the way, it has a speaker in it, so you could say.
Doesn't the Wyze Cam 2 doesn't move?
Say pee in the box, you dumb
does
cat.
not move. And they both have two-way audio.
Hey, buddy. Drive your cat crazy. Hey, buddy. Oh, there's a raccoon.
Actually, let me make sure the Wyze.
I don't
Raccoon.
understand how this could be so cheap.
This is then I need to
talked
move
about
it to the deck because a raccoon took a huge dump on the deck.
I hate it when that happens.
Raccoons are such FU animals.
It missed the litter box too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I bring the
Yes,
every
you do
show
have
down.
two-way
I bring
audio
it down.
on Wyze Cam 2.
Wyze Cam 2, $20. Okay. What the heck?
Yeah, just buy it. It's $20.
I know, they're so cheap. And they don't charge you a subscription fee. You get 2 weeks.
You do have to buy your own SD card to stick in there if you want to put it, if you don't want it going up to the cloud.
Yeah. But you get free 14-day rolling cloud storage. I don't, I'm just baffled by this. How they get away with this.
And it's just on Wi-Fi, right?
Yep. I can't wait to get mine.
You've solved the P problem.
Maybe.
Or the P mystery, at least.
I don't
I was
know
about to say.
I don't know if you're going to actually see anything of value, but
I tell you what,
Well,
get your camera, bring us video.
Yeah.
your number, my friend.
Let's see. I had 3 at the bottom, but the one that fascinates me a little bit is a story about Sundar Pichai's name. It's up in the Google section. So the number is 1. Sundar is just Sundar. So a friend named Richard Hay said in a comment on somebody's, a friend of mine. So a colleague of mine was complaining that the MacBook Pro had no USB port, and she was complaining. So I said, next time Chromebook, because I'm obnoxious like that. That's what I do, even with my friends. And so anyway, this guy Richard Hay came down and told a friend from a TGIF at Google that Sergey, they were about to announce the Chromebook, and Sergey had Google Glass on, and he asked for the name of a finance minister of India. And the display came out and said it was P, initial P, somebody or other. And he wanted to know what the P stood for. And he asked, and it didn't tell him. He thought it was a failure. Walks away. Sundar then comes on stage and stopped to tell a story first. He referenced an earlier incident with the finance minister's name and mentioned that he was from Chennai, where you were only given a single name at birth and no surname.
What?
The rest of the world refuses this cultural convention, so folks from Chennai adopt initials to fake other name to satisfy the cultural norms of others. He was born simply Sundar. He adopted Sundar P, but when he was applying for U.S. citizenship, that wasn't good enough, so he took his dad's name, Pichai, as his surname. He said a friend came back home and asked him how it was working out, and he said, pretty well, except my wife freaks out when someone calls her Mrs. Pichai.
Wow, that's interesting.
So
That is.
Richard, hey, thank you for that story. I found that really interesting. I love cultural moments like that. Make me feel ignorant.
So what
That's
was your dad's first name, Jeff?
Daryl.
So you'd be Jeff Darrell.
Or you could be, if you're in Iceland, you'd be Jeff Darrelson.
My dad's name was the same as mine, so I'd be Leo.
Leo squared.
Leo squared.
Stacey?
What was your dad's first name?
Or mom's.
Would it be my dad or would it be my mom?
Oh.
Well, if you're in Iceland, it'd be your mom's, right? No, you'd be dad's, Dotir, but you'd be Dotir instead of...
I would be Lynn if it's my mom's. Don if it's
Stacey
my dad's.
Lynn. Stacey Lynn, I like
Stacey
that.
Lynn. You'd be a country singer if you had that name.
Yeah.
That's my middle name.
Oh.
Oh.
Ta-da!
Ta-da! Da, 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 da. So mine's a little one, but it's a good one. If you ever use Google Lens, they finally made you had to launch the camera and then press the lens button, go in the lens. Now it's just a shortcut really on Android, but download it and you install it from the App Store. It's the Google Lens shortcut, and now it launches Lens directly, which is really much more useful because you want to do it as fast as possible in some cases. So
The
here's
lens still doesn't know what it's looking at.
your lens. Well, wait a minute. Watch this. See if the lens knows what it's looking at. Let's see. Let's see if it's looking at the look. See if it knows the look. You got the look. You got the look. Tap on objects.
Nope.
Yeah. It might be one of these, it said. Amazon.com. Looking for results. No, it just knows it's Amazon. No, that's terrible. It might be one of these, and Amazon, well, it is. Oh, you know what? It saw the word Amazon. So I'm going to say thumbs down. You got it wrong. right?
To be fair, that looks a lot like the Canary Flex. It looks kind of like the Lighthouse. It looks like a lot of cameras.
Here, let's do this then. This looks like nothing you ever saw. This is a knob. It won't get this. This just looks like a gray. Oh, it crashed.
No.
Okay.
Yeah.
Enough.
Yeah,
of that.
I'm not excited about this Lens app just yet. I got to be honest, Leo.
Enough of that. I will just a little tease. I'll be doing a review of this device, which is kind of an interesting device. It's an Android phone. It was an Indiegogo project from Planet Computers called the Gemini. If you ever used a Scion or like the Scion 5, this is exactly like it. It's an Android 7.1 phone, like 5.7-inch screen, just like a phone, attached to actually a pretty usable keyboard. Type-C charging on both ends. It's got stereo sound, and it can be used as a kind of big and ugly phone, but you can talk into it like a phone. It is, and it's not expensive compared to most other Android phones, about $699. So I will give you my review of this. I put a T-Mobile SIM in it, so it's just like a phone.
It kind of brings back memories,
doesn't it? And the thing is, it's really nice to type on. It's like you could actually, I wouldn't want to write an article on it, but you can definitely type away on it.
What's the brand?
Gemini from Planet Computers. If you look for Gemini on Indiegogo, I think it's still up there. And I still apparently have my bad habit of buying things on Indiegogo. But this one I like. This one I think I'm going to give a positive review to. It can run Linux as well if you want to put Linux on it. So that might end up being what happens. They've raised $2.3 million, this English company, Planet Computers, to make this. 2018.
So is it just the keyboard or is it the phone?
No, it's the whole thing.
It's the whole thing. Okay.
Yeah.
How much?
I think I bought
$599.
$599 if you want Wi-Fi and 4G. We'll compare that to a phone. It's less than a Pixel. $499 if you just want the Wi-Fi version. I don't think that does that feel expensive?
That's not no, it's not. You're right.
Because it's a phone. It could be your full-time phone if you don't mind. It's not really slim, but it's not super huge either. Here, compare.
A friend of mine just whined the other day about not having the BlackBerry anymore.
Yeah, here's the Pixel 2 XL. It's roughly the same size as that. It's thicker, obviously, because it has a full-size keyboard. It's not, unfortunately, Android 8. It should be, but it's not. It's Android 7.
Oh, so people are talking about the price differential for the Wyze Cam. All that is shipping. For the people wondering, it's like $8 to ship it. Oh. They don't give you free shipping.
Okay. They shouldn't at that price.
Oh, because Amazon, it's $25 versus $22 for the small one on Amazon, $37.
I see.
Right. So my total out-of-pocket cost buying from Wyze was $37 or $38. I think it was $37.95.
Okay, so it's $37.98 on Amazon.
Okay.
With shipping, free shipping.
Well, but it's not free shipping because Wyze is still charging Amazon to get it out of their house, I think.
No, Amazon says $37.98 and free shipping.
Yes, but it would be $30 plus shipping.
Wyze charges you $29.99. Then they charge you $7.95 in shipping.
In other words,
it's the same price.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same price. That's what I'm saying. It equals out.
We agree.
That's what I was saying.
Yes. I'm just pointing out to people who are like, it's this much on Amazon. I'm like, it's because the shipping.
Shipping, right.
Even though it's not really the shipping.
I was giving another data point.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the conclusion of this fine program. We thank you so much for being here, and we invite you to stop by again. We do it every Wednesday afternoon, right after Windows Weekly, about 1:30 Pacific, 4:30 Eastern. That would be 20:30 UTC. Wednesday afternoons, watch live at twit.tv/live, or listen there. We also have audio streams there. You can listen if that's more convenient. And, of course, if you watch live, you should join us in the chat room live at irc.twit.tv. You can also subscribe and get an episode delivered to you, audio or video, the minute it's available. You just go to twit.tv/twig for all your options. Thank you, everybody. We'll see you next time on This Week in Google. Bye-bye.